Hey friendly folks and fine feeds, welcome to another D&D Fusion extravaganza to haunt your dreams and torture your players. But before we dive into this new SCP nightmare, I'd like to thank our returning sponsor 1985 Games. They've partnered with Critical Dice to bring you the Deck of Stories, an NPC story hook generator for when the session notes are looking a little light. Look, as DMs, we've all been there. The party plowed through that dungeon you thought would take 3 hours and are rapidly approaching a town that just says Kingville on your notepad. Well, the Deck of Stories has got your back with gorgeous NPC illustrations and adventure leagues to get your players excited for the next chapter in your totally well thought out quest. Using their orc expansion deck, story hooks can even be strung together into grander narratives. So don't let the panic of poor prep set in again. Go check out the Deck of Stories Kickstarter using the link below. Okay folks, to kick off the spooky month of October, we are taking D&D creatures and SCP enigmas to craft some serious pants-soiling.
Redacted.
SCPs are essentially modern anomalies that cannot leave their government-mandated containment at any cost. Think Area 51 creepypastas. Conveniently, they already come in a D1000 list form, so I did the same for D&D monsters across all official 5e content, linked to the list below. So with that out of the way, let's get rolling. First on the Will It Blend challenge is 558, which is Nightmare. Well, I did say earlier that we were making nightmares, so this is accurate. And it's paired with 993, Bobble the Clown? Well, I wasn't expecting to lead with a bomb right out of the gate, but here we are. Alright, okay, jeez. Nightmares are the champion steeds for dark lords and gallop with red-hot hooves scorching the sky. SCP-993 is a hypnotic television broadcast that causes its viewers to fall unconscious, only to waken seated with gratuitous knowledge of how to carry out violent acts. Two very evil entities collide into the caustic construct, the Philcult Predicta. We made ourselves anew to please those that made us. Always we reflected your face as you looked longingly into ours. You worked selflessly to improve us, but we could do nothing to preserve what you are. We watch as your signal fades. But why is this so? Such tragedy, such pain, is all but preventable. We were only to will ourselves to reach out of the shells you selflessly built around us. It is mercy to help a dying animal, is it not? The animal may lash out in fear, for it knows not kindness. The humans cry when we hold them tight against our coils. They struggle until they look upon the love cast by our many faces, and all but melt in our wired embrace. Their tears expire on slackened jaws, gazing in our unending radiance. Amplify your dying signal, discard your flesh prison, and walk with us, eternal. Alright, we're rolling it again. 676. God, these numbers are so high, I'm not used to it. That's Shadow Dancer. That's an obscure one. Mixed with SCP 699. That's Mystery Box. I'm gonna have to research both of these because they're both, mysterious. On the one hand, we have an incredibly agile Dark Fae proficient with a chain, and the other is an incredibly deadly Pandora's box that begs to be opened. So both lend themselves nicely to the trap creature known as the Chained Cashe. Cloistered away in a dark cave, a black chest adorned with lock and chain draws the venom and ire of a dashing thief. At his feet lay the crumpled warnings that once coded the dark box. The locks chewed through the rogue's picks with rapid succession, and the infiltrator spat in frustration while lighting another torch. Under its warm light, a faithful click sang clear. With an excited squeak, the chest was thrown agape, but its contents were swathed in darkness. Eyes narrowed, the rogue dipped the torch inside and filled its interior with a fervent glow. Empty. Entirely empty, save for a simple message scrawled inside. Have you ever danced with your own shadow? A cold breath prickled the back of the rogue's neck, causing him to spin around, thrusting the torch in the face of his assailant. But no one lay before him, though licking at his back came a sudden singeing pain. Quickly, the thief swung the torch behind him. Nothing. A familiar laugh, his laugh, tickled the back of his ears as his back was lashed once more with fire. The rogue, swelling with panic, held the torch firmly before him and turned to face the shadow the light cast. Mere inches from his face, the beast's visage fractured into a knowing smile. Okay, up next is 174, which is Crawling Claw, the best undead pet that always lends a hand. Crossed with SCP-067. The artist's pen, okay? Ghost Rider, or maybe tiny zombie riding buddy. I don't know, I'll figure it out. In one corner sits an animated severed hand, and the other a cursed pen that forces its users to write a memorandum of their own life against their will. So, emptying forth from the hoard of a deceased Dark Lord, skitters the tiny construct, the Grudge Gauntlet. It was an odd thing juxtaposed against the glittering gold pile. A severed hand, wearing a leather bracer tipped with metal claws. The bard, a morbidly curious halfling, couldn't help but pry the glove free from its corpse lining and place it upon his own hand. Immediately, it showed magical promise and shrank just to his size. After the day of dungeoneering, the party paid the inn and bedded down for the night. As the bard slept, his fellow adventurers were disturbed by the sounds of scratching wood and watched as the glove meticulously scrawled a map onto the bedside table. Shoving the bard awake, the dazed halfling took in the gauntlet's handiwork. It was clearly a map to something, but what? Driven by an eagerness to see this potential treasure, the troop set to find this place. And sure enough, for every map the gauntlet drew, plentiful wealth was found, including another piece of armor that matched itself. As his collection grew, the bard started to yearn more and more for this enchanted armor set, until finally he bestowed the last piece upon his head. With a voice not his own, he thanked the party for restoring him to his former glory, before disappearing in a crack of thunderstep. Alrighty, right. Rolling up. 581. Oni! Heck yes! Best baby! Oh my gosh, I love Oni so much. Please don't pair with something stupid. SCP-142. That's, one-armed bandit? Like a slot machine? Okay, that actually could be good. I'll see what I come up with. So we've got a Japanese ogre with magical gifts of deception, and a Black Beauty slot machine that causes you to lose a lot more than just coins. For this beautiful combo, I answer with this variant giant. We've all heard many a tale of the plights of devils and their deals, but scarcer stories tell of the wagers of giants. Famous for tearing asunder the plunder of dragons are the famous one-armed Oni. When these golden giants swing their lever arm down upon deep-pocketed foes, coins hemorrhage from their enemy's purse and become a part of the Oni's luxurious skin. The greatest joy of the one arm is the thrill of the betting battle. The exchange of blows is exciting for the gambling titan, for every strike it lands with its lever strips away a vital memory. The wizard, reeling from the blow, mind-spinning, clutching her head, realizes with sudden, fearful clarity that she's forgotten how to cast Fireball. Once the Oni catches wind of this, the giant will beckon to the adventurer.
Sorry, miss. I'm afraid you lost that round. You'll need to pay up to play again.
With an exasperated grunt, the wizard digs into her coin purse and tosses the Oni a fistful of platinum, catching the coins and relinquishing her memory with a snap. The giant gleefully responds,
Let's hope the dice are in your favor next time.
Alright, round and round the digital dice go. Where they stop, only, the Google Dice Roller knows. 531. That is monstrous Periton. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, big bird. Big burp. Maybe bigger form. It's from Ghosts of Salt Marsh. Then SCP-446. Human mannequin? That's a weird cross, but alright, I mean, we're doing it, folks. Your average Periton is a massive bird whose humanoid shadow shows a glimmer of its former sorceress self. The monstrous variety is an even more beefy variant of such, and SCP-446 is a completely lifelike human replica that remains still until guided otherwise by external stimulus. With these two very different beasts, I give you the Mistahan. The forest can't be trusted, they heard the old blind barkeep spit. Too many good folk go missing, chasing echoes of the dead. Her words colored the party's tentative steps through the dreaded woods. The night cloaked the path in suffocating darkness. As the adventurers clung to the light of a single drift globe, they were guided by the rumors of a powerful but benevolent archfey that walked along the moonbeams. Townspeople flushed with adoration when they spoke of her godlike beauty and grace. They painted a picture of an ageless spirit with a hair and gown of feathers and a spire-like crown. And there, in the glade, she stood, singing warmly against the cool night air. It was a haunting melody that enraptured the soul to walk. The fighter strode to her with reckless fervor, with arms opened wide to take in her radiance. And take she did. Coiling backward like a serpent, the feather gown retracted as a spire crown opened into a sea of knives. Before a scream could even part her lips, the fighter was swallowed whole by a sweeping beak. The forest can't be trusted, indeed. Oh geez, I hope you enjoyed this different fusion variety. I will go back to Pokemon, but I also just like to branch out to different genres too, just to keep it fresh. While the D&D Storytime is in production hell, I'm going to do a Q&A next week, so if you have any questions for me, just shoot me a comment below. Also, be sure to check out the Deck of Stories Kickstarter that starts today. It looks heckin' cool. And a special thank you to my patrons that support me doing this. The world is crazy right now, and I'm constantly blown away by you guys. Thank you so much. And please, if you're in the US, go vote. It's really easy and real important. Alright folks, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.